All right, now moving on towards the next question from 8 to 13. And just as I mentioned earlier, that the information, the tips, techniques, and the method that you can apply on the one category of the question, you cannot apply the same things on another category of the question. Now, as you can see from 8 to 13, we can see the sentence completion question, fill in the blanks are here. And of course, techniques would be different. Now, before we move on toward answering these questions from 8 to 13, let me tell you what is the way and what exactly are the skills needed required in order to solve these type of the question. Number one thing, let's read out the question. Complete the table below. Now, this is of course different. You don't have to give true, false, or not give an answer. Over here, you just have to give one specific word which is most appropriate for this question. And the instructions are choose one word only. Very, very important thing. Students make the mistake over here. They give the correct answer, but they do not follow this instruction. When they say choose one word only, it means we cannot write two words for the answer. Answer should be one word only. If you write two words and one of those two words is right, still your answer will be marked as wrong because you did not follow the instruction. Sometimes they say choose not more than one word, not more than two words, not more than three words. Whatever are the instructions, follow that. If they say not more than two words, then you can write either one word or you can write two words, but you cannot write more than the words which are required, which are suggested in the instruction. Read this carefully always. And now there are a few confusion. Some words seem like two words, but actually these words could be one word. For instance, a number 72. 72 is not a two-word answer. 72 is a one word. And it doesn't matter you write 72 by writing number there, 7 and 2, or you write it in alphabet 72 with a complete spelling. It doesn't matter. The word would be considered as one word only. Same as you can also use hyphenated words. Hyphenated words are the words that you join together by using dashes in between. For instance, state of the art, state dash of dash the dash art. These words are also one word. So, important thing here is that your answer should never go for more than one word. And the other part, from the same statement, see the statement, the instruction is very important because in one instruction, they have given you two hidden statements, two hidden meanings that you have to follow. Number one, choose one word only. Number two, from the passage for each answer. Now they are saying you have to select one word from the passage with me, which means you cannot come up with a new word or a word which is not written in the passage. You do not need to apply your own intuition to give the answer that what should be the appropriate word, and you can use the synonym. You can just simply use any word which can give the same meaning. Do not go for the synonym, do not go for the similar vocabulary words. You have to use exactly the word which was from the passage. This is important. If they do not write this thing from the passage, then yes, you can write any word over there that you feel like this word would give the exact meaning what they are expecting from you. Now, first tip to solve this question is to read the instructions carefully. Now, of course, this one word only, two words only, these not the are the instructions from the true false not given. And they don't even say that from the passage because over there you just have to write true false not given. But here you have to write down one word which should be from the passage only. Now, there are a few plus points that I'm going to discuss with you right now when it comes to answering these questions, just like reasons why polar bears should be protected. Now, to answer these questions, the first best part is that answers once again come in order. Answers come in order means if you will find your answer in the line number one, the answer for the question number two, or the next question would be in the line number two only. You don't have to go back. Things that you have covered already, from which you have already extracted the answer, you do not need those information. You do not need to read out that passage, that sentence, that line, that paragraph once again. That is of no use anymore. Now, tip how to solve this, how to solve these sentence completion question. Just like your true, false, and not given, few of the things are quite similar here. Just like your true, false, and not given, answers come in order. But the first step is you have to understand the question before you understand or you read out the passage. First, try to understand and what you are going to search for. If you're not aware of that, same as just as I mentioned earlier, reading out the whole passage would be the waste of time for you. This is not the test of reading in a way that you should be able to read it out. Do you understand everything? This is not the test of that. This is not the test of your understanding related to the passage. This is the test of the correct answer. Are you able to find out correct answer from the questions given? Are you able to do that or not? If yes, you will get good marks. Even if you do not understand the passage, and even if you understand the passage and you do not give the correct answer, that would be of no use at all. Now, the first thing is that you should read out the question, analyze the information, what sentence they are saying. You need to build two things to analyze the statement, to analyze the question. First thing is your synonyms, and number two is your paraphrasing. What is the meaning of the paraphrasing? This is not like your writing task. Paraphrasing means you have to create your own meaning in your mind. It's not like you are writing it down. You have to write down the same similar meaning of the sentence. You have to restructure the sentence and you have to write it down anywhere. The meaning, give your own meaning to the question. Just like in the question number 8, people think of bears as unintelligent and something. Now, what is that? Unintelligent and? They are saying and, it means they are going to talk about something negative. Just as unintelligent is negative, I believe the other word should also be negative, would also be negative. Now, paraphrase it in your own mind. Give your own meaning. That might be the bears are dumb. Give your own meaning, and then you would be able to understand it from the passage. Number one. Number two, it's not important that they would have used the same unintelligent and the other vocabulary word. Now, other vocabulary word would be exactly the same from the passage, but the unintelligent or people think it's not mandatory they should use the same vocabulary word in the passage. They can come up with the different vocabulary words. Now let me tell you one thing which will help you to understand that why paraphrasing and synonym is important. That people who set the test, people who draft these tests, because the passages are from articles or from could be from any source, but the people who create questions out of the passages given, they always follow on paraphrasing and the synonyms. Once they use a word, or if there is any word which is given in the paragraph in the passage, they will not be using the same words into the question. They will come up with a paraphrasing. For instance, if the passage says men drive cars to work, it's not like they will create a question out of that using the similar vocabulary word. They can say, or the synonym or the paraphrasing could be, the majority of males use automobiles to get to their job. Instead of saying men drive cars to work, they can use synonym. They will use synonym there. They will use the paraphrasing. They are gonna restructure the sentence in order to give you the question. That's what they do when it comes to designing the question paper. Focus more on building your synonyms and having your understanding about the paraphrasing. And how you can build the synonym? By having the wide range of vocabulary word. You should find out what are the synonyms there, what could be the alternative word for this vocabulary word. Think about that when you're reading out during your practice. Just as I mentioned earlier once, that in IELTS it's all about the vocabulary. When you're speaking, they want you to speak alternative, they want you to use synonyms, they want you to use the paraphrasing. When you're writing, they expect this the synonym, they expect the paraphrasing. And when it's the listening test, they use the synonyms and paraphrasing over there. Same as when it's the reading test, they apply the synonyms and the paraphrasing. So you need to build your understanding. And number two tip would be, when you are reading, when you read out the question, when you understand the question, when you analyze the question, now you know exactly what you are going to look for in the passage. Then, second tip, do the scanning in the paragraph. Scanning means, just as if I give you an example, people think beer as an intelligent ant, or in the question number 9, you can see in Tennoji Zoo, whatever is the exact pronunciation of that. In Tennoji Zoo, if we get back to the paragraph, we can find out. I mean, we couldn't find out in the first 3-4 paragraphs. Now, the Tennoji Zoo was not mentioned there. But yes, if you just come to the next page and on the paragraph number 5, you can see the male bear called Gogo in the Noji Zoo. Now, this is about the scanning the information. Now, you have scanned the information. Remember, you can never scan the answer. You cannot locate the answer, but you can locate the information where the answer is hidden. The first thing is to create the connection between the question and in the passage where the answer is located. First thing is to try to locate the answer. Once you are able to do that, once you find out the location of the answer, the second thing would be you would have predicted the answer already. Just like in the question number 8, we were saying that people think of beer as unintelligent and dash. Dash would be a negative word. You have predicted the word. You will be looking for that one noun which is going to help you to give the answer. It's the similar thing. When you're looking for an answer, be very much conscious that what should be the vocabulary word, which part of speech should be there. Should it be the noun, verb, adverb, conjunction? What are you looking for? Be very conscious about that and try to look for the similar word in the passage, because this is the test of scanning for specific information. There are few categories of the question where they are assessing your skill of understanding the general perspective of a paragraph, but this is not that. In this question, in this category, they are expecting that you should be able to understand the specific information, find out one exact word for the statement. Now, before we move on, just two more things that I would like to mention here when it comes to answering the question. Then we are going to solve this category of the question in a practical way. Now, when you are transferring your answer, remember your one word can make a grammatical mistake. Be very sure that the word that you have selected for the answer is not grammatically wrong, will not make the sentence as grammatically wrong. It should be accurate, perfect. It should be the exact part of speech that you are looking for. Last but not the least is that when you are transferring your answer, now just because you have to select one appropriate word from the passage and you will be copy pasting it for your answer, in the copy pasting process, do not make the spelling mistake. Why am I saying it? Because this is one of the common problem that students face when it comes to copy pasting. They are not writing down, they are not creating the spellings in their mind, they are not using their own ability to write down the correct spelling, they are copy pasting it. In copy pasting, most of the time they make the spelling mistake. Now, spelling mistake was not my suggestion when we were solving the true, false, and not given. Reading out the instruction carefully for the one word, two word was not my instruction for the true, false, and not given from the passage. So these things are different for different tips, different techniques, different pattern to solve out the question for the different categories of the question. Now, let's just solve out the question from question 8 to question 13. Let's read out the statement number 1, which is people think of bears as unintelligent and dash. Now, if you remember, when we were solving the true, false, and not given question, it was more about their physical abilities, their fat, obesity, bonds. They were talking about that. They were not talking about intelligent or things like that, or even Tenoji Zoo. The Tenoji Zoo is a very good example of understanding that they have moved on. It means the answers are not from those paragraph or from where we were locating the answers for the true, false, and not given. It means after moving on, we just have these four, one lengthy paragraph, and after that three very small, and the last one is the smallest one. So we have only this page to answer the next category of the question, which is sentence completion one. Now people think of the beer as unintelligent, and now let's look for the similar word. And the important keywords from this statement would be people think of beers and as people think of beers as unintelligent and dash. Now we have to look for the word unintelligent. It could be dumb, it could be any other word relating or giving the same meaning. This is about, they're talking about the drawback, they are talking about a bad characteristic of the polar bear. Now let's find it out, that what could be that. Let's just scan the information in the first paragraph, and the answer should be given before this Tennoji Zoo, because from Tennoji Zoo to onward, the answer for the question number 9 would be there, and we are looking for the answer for the question number 8, and that would be before that. So we have only 4 to 5 lines to select the word. Let's scan the information. And if I just simply look at the third line exactly in the middle, they are saying we think are intelligent and possess emotions. Now, possess emotions is it should not be the answer, because these are the two words. So do not just simply write possess emotions. because they are talking about intelligent, and the question was about people think of them as unintelligent, and intelligent and possess emotion could be a positive attribute because intelligent is a positive attribute. Now let's read out the first two three lines where we can find out the answer, but the answer is must be hidden somewhere in these 4 to 5 lines, which are in the beginning of this paragraph. The medical benefit of the polar bear for humanity certainly have importance. This is not what we are looking for, but these should not be only factors taken into the consideration. We tend to want to protect animals. We think of intelligent and possessiveness such as elephant, and see, like intelligent and possess emotions were for elephants and primates, but not for the polar bear. Next line is from the bear. Bears, on the other hand, seem to be perceived as stupid. Now, see, stupid. They did not use unintelligent. Unintelligent and stupid, these are the synonyms. These are two different words giving the same meaning, and in many cases, violent. Now, the answer is very clearly given here. Bears, on the other hand, seem to be perceived as stupid and in many cases violent. Stupid and in many cases violent. And the question says polar bears, sorry, not this one. Question number 8 is people think of bears as unintelligent, which means stupid, and violent. Yes, they are violent. Just as I mentioned earlier, the word would be a negative one here, and the violent is a negative word. Now, just because we answered it correctly, let's move on to the question number 9. However, this may not be correct. For example, in Tennoji Zoo, a bear has been using a branch as a dash, full stop, because the next sentence, this allowed him to knock down some dash. This allowed him, T is capital, which means there is a full stop at the end of the question number 9. This is the last word. We are looking for the object. In Tennoji Zoo, a bear has been using a branch as a dash, as a characteristic, as something. Now let's look for that information. We will move further. Any yet anecdotal evidence from the field challenges those assumptions, suggesting, for example, that polar bear have good problem solving abilities? Okay, there is no answer for the question number 9. A male bear called Gogo in Tennoji Zoo has even been observed making use of a tool to manipulate his environment. Okay, okay. The bear used a tree branch. Okay, the branch, they have used the exact word. The bear used a tree branch on multiple occasions to dislodge a piece of meat hunting out for his reach. The answer should be, let's read out the question first, and after that we'll find out that which one is the appropriate word for this one. A bear has been seen using a branch as a dash. Okay. A male bear called Gogu in Tennoji Zoo, Osaka, has even been observed making use of a tool to manipulate his environment. The bear used a tree branch. I believe tool is the correct answer because the tree branch, he used the tree branch on multiple occasions. He's using tree branch, but as a tool. Observed making use of a tool to manipulate his environment. And then the next sentence, they are mentioning the tool name, which is the tree branch, which is more like a subordinate information. The bear used a tree branch on multiple occasions to dislodge a piece of meat hunting out of his reach. I believe the answer should be tool because tool is the appropriate word. They are using branch, tree branch as a tool to manipulate occasion or to dislodge a piece of meat. Tool is the correct answer. To answer the question, let's read out the question once again. In Tennoji Zoo, a bear has been seen using a branch as a tool. Yes, this allowed him to knock down some meat. Yeah, knock down. See, they use this word knock down, and the answer is hidden in the very next line where they mention in Tennoji Zoo, Osaka has been observed making use of a tool to manipulate his environment. The bear used a tree branch as a tool on multiple occasions to dislodge a piece of meat hung out of his reach. Dislodge a piece. What's the meaning of the word dislodge? Dislodge means to remove or to move something from one place to another place. Or now dislodge a piece. Of course, he's using a tree branch to dislodge, might be moving it toward him or out of his reach, hung out of his reach. So he was must be trying to grab it toward him. So dislodge, which means to move. And the word they are using in the question is this allowed him to knock down. Now, what's the meaning of the word knock down? Knock down means now this word could be from the wrestling side, to take someone in control and to win the battle. This allowed him to knock down some meat because he was taking control on the meat. And now the answer, the statement says, Osaka has even been observed making use of a tool to manipulate his environment. The bear used a tree branch on multiple occasions to dislodge a piece of meat. Dislodge a piece of, to move or to knock down or to get the control on the meat hang out of his reach, which was earlier out of his reach. Now, this is the perfect answer, meat. Moving on toward the question number 10, and the statement comes up like 10. We have already answered the question number 10. We have to answer the question number 11 now. A wild polar bear worked out a method of reaching a platform where a dash was located. A wild polar bear worked out, figured out a method of reaching a platform where a dash was located. Okay, he's gonna reach, he's gonna jump out to some place, and he has figured out a method, and he must be applying one method to reach out to some dash where some was located, or anything was located, or any person was located. Let's look at the information. And of course, we have to move on. Problem solving ability has also been witnessed in wild polar bears. They were talking about wild polar bears, although not as obviously as with Gogo. A calculated move by a male bear involved running and jumping onto barrels in an attempt to get to a photographer standing on a platform 4 meters high. Okay, the answer is clear. A calculated move by a male bear involved running and jumping. These are the different methods he's applying onto barrels in an attempt to get to a photographer standing on a platform 4 meters higher. Photographer. A photographer. I believe that should be the answer. Hold on. A wild polar bear, this is what they were talking about, worked out method of reaching, and that method of reaching is jumping a platform where a photographer was located. Yes, that should be the answer. Moving on toward the question number 12, polar bear have displayed behavior such as conscious manipulation of objects and activities similar to a dash. Okay. Polar bears have displayed behaviors. Behaviors could be displayed behaviors such as conscious manipulation of objects and activity similar to a dash. Let's move on to the next information given right after the information which we used to answer the previous question. And I believe we have to now, of course, we have to move on toward the next paragraph. In other studies, such as one by Alison, whatever it is, an polar bear showed deliberate and focused manipulation. Manipulation is the exact word they use there. For example, Ames observed a bear putting objects in piles. This is the first part of the question, and knocking them over in what appeared to be a game. Oh, yeah. They are considering these things as a game. And the question says, why do I jump to true, false, not given? And the question says, in question number 12, polar bears have displayed behaviors such as conscious manipulation of objects and activities similar to a game. Yes, it's more like a game. When they play, it seems like they are playing a game. Just when they manipulate different things and they jump and do all the stuff. Game should be the answer. Number 12, bears may also display emotions. For example, they may make movements suggesting dash if disappointed when hunting. Okay. They may make movements suggesting dash if disappointed when hunting. Okay, emotion. And they are gonna show some sort of emotions here, and I believe one emotion should mention here. They may make movements suggesting one emotion if disappointed when hunting. All right, let's look for the answer. Of course, we will move further. appear to be a game. The study demonstrate that bears are capable of agile and thought out behaviors. This is These examples suggest bears have greater creativity and problem solving ability than the previous thought. This is not about the emotion. All right. Next paragraph is starting with emotion. As for emotions, while the evidence is once again anecdotal, many bears have been seen to hit out at ice and snow, seemingly out of frustration. Frustration is an emotion when they have just missed out on a kill. Moreover, probabilities can. No, 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 no. That's the answer. Frustration, I believe, when they have just missed out on a kill. When they missed out a kill, of course, it's the frustration situation. And the question says they may make movements suggesting frustration if disappointed when hunting. And the hunting, the alternative they used there was when they have just missed out on a kill. This is like have been seen to hit out at ice and snow. Many bears have been seen to hit out at ice and snow. This is related to the question. They did not mention the same thing, but they make movements. Movements. What sort of the movements are there? This is what they have mentioned. Many bears have been seen to hit out at ice and snow. Hit out is the movement. Seeming out of frustration. That seems like frustration. And moving, suggesting frustration if disappointed when hunting. Yes, frustration should be the appropriate word for this question. I hope you find this helpful for you and you're going to apply the same strategies, whatever we are applying today. And let's move on toward the reading passage 2.